Hello, it's John Neal here. It's Wednesday the 30th of August 2023 and I'm on a bike ride, I know, but I'm going to Sibson. Okay, I'll tell you more about it later.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine.
I'm heading north as usual into South Leicestershire, having crossed the A5, and the first place I come to is Home on the Hill. Then it's past the Bishop's house and turn right on the road towards Wyking. Well, we've got quite a bit to get through, so let's just jump to the little village of Wyking. It says Wyking Village as if it's defining itself as a village. Actually, I call it a hamlet. It's only got about 5 houses. And then I turn left to head towards Stoke Golding. This is one of the prettiest little roads around here. Oh, 1 or 2 cars down here, it's not usually the case. Ah, first spot of rain. Well, woo, it did say it was going to rain. We'll have to see what happens. But it should clear up after a bit. It is trying a bit now, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, I'm on a bike ride and I'm going to Sibson. Not Sibson's anything special, but I thought I'd head over towards Market Bosworth and then head left over towards Twycross and places like that. I'll see how far I get, but I'll come back onto Sibson, which is quite interesting. It's got quite a nice very old pub there called the Cock, which has some history to it. Probably most of it made up, to be honest. Well, it's going to rain on me, and there's a seat up here at the cemetery. I'm going to go call in there, I think. Sit it out for a minute. It's August the 30th and it's an interesting time of year because I have to cope with 2 major anniversaries. One is our wedding anniversary and also my wife's birthday. Those are now both behind me and successfully remembered and successfully celebrated. So there's a bit of a ease of conscience now. So going for a bike ride. I got the chance to go for a bike ride. In fact, Margaret, my wife's, going for a dinner with her cousin as a birthday present, and it gives me a chance to get out and entertain you with the wonders of South Leicestershire countryside, even though it's raining a bit. Let's get up here and sit down. Before I go much further, let me just show you some of this paraphernalia I've got on here. To fit all this stuff on my handlebars, look, the GoPro and my iPhone. Can't show the iPhone, I'm filming with it, but I put an extension bar on. Looks a bit naff, but it does the job actually, so that's good. I'm today utilising my front pannier as well, because I've got some food with me. I've got a full flask of coffee with me today, so I can take my time and enjoy it. You know, you see, it's not a matter of going a long distance. I've planned out a route which is about 20 miles, and I've used Commute just because I want to use it and see if it works. And yeah, I've got a couple of hours, if not about 3 hours to get out. So I've got plenty of coffee. It's raining a bit. I think it'll pass. It's a broken cloud, so I'll wait a minute and drink some of this. Just enjoying it, taking my time. Robin. Aeroplane. And so past the canal, through Dadlington, and oh, don't you just love the sunshine coming through the trees? Oh, I've been here before actually, and pointed out this tree. Look at it, it's superb. It's huge too. I reckon, I'll take a stab, 200 years old at least. Fantastic. And it's on a slight raised piece of land, frames the view really nicely. So somebody commented, oh, it's nice that you took time to appreciate the oak tree. So it was a while back, might have been 12 months ago actually. So I'm more than happy to stop and say hello to it again. And before anybody else comments, and I've only just noticed this as I edit the footage, the branch above my head has got a huge crack in it. That's got to be coming down or is almost dead, I would have thought. So we'll have to see how that develops. Once more crossing the Ashby Canal and on towards Tinsel Lane. Mind you don't run over a pigeon. I can't avoid this short section of the A444 going into Sibson. In the 18th century, the countryside was awash with highwaymen. One in particular was Dick Turpin. It is absolutely true that he and his horse spent the night in this coaching inn on the Burton Road called the Cock. You can see it's called the Cock because it's got a chicken up on the roof. It's quite a big church, but these side pieces, if that's what they're called, are made out of brick, not the original stone. The tower looks quite impressive. Well, the clock's not working, although as they say it's right twice a day. And these yew trees look like they've been cut back. I bet they're quite old and overgrown, but they've been cut back and now they're sprouted back up again. They're dotted along here, look. And as well, you know, churchyards are famous for their yew trees. And there's a little plaque here, if you like, a notice etched into this stone. Look. This churchyard is committed to the tender care of all who enter. The place where thou standest is holy ground. Do no injury to tree or flower, for they are dedicated to God and the memory of the departed. Among them sleep the dead. Thou must die also. Thank you. Consider the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. That's told me, innit? Well, here we are in the churchyard of St Botolph's in Sibson, and it's a very small place. It hasn't got a lot to say for itself, and I'll show you some of the buildings around in a minute. Actually, they're quite expensive, and there's a famous pub on the corner which you just passed, which is due for refurbishment. Yes, I did some signwriting there once. And yeah, Sibson and this church goes back to the 12th century, the time of Henry I, and apparently, oh, what's his name? I've forgotten now. There's a Neal, Pendock Neal. No wonder I couldn't remember it. Pendock Neal, from the 18th century, who was a local landowner, lord of the manor or whatever. It also played some part in the English Civil War. Various garrisons came and went and played their part here in little old Sibson. It's on the main road which goes from Nuneaton through to Burton, which is the A444, near Twycross as well. And you saw me coming down it, and it's a little bit busy, but I'm going to turn off because I want to go down towards Upton, so I'm going over to Sheepy Magna that way in the countryside and go that way. That's if it doesn't rain. You know, the one thing about the Church of England, they do quite nice benches, and all due respect to Harriet Mary White, who died in 1966, born 1899. Thank you. Nice bench. Cheers. The weather doesn't look promising, so I'm going to press on. I don't really want to put my cape on, but I might have to. The clouds look a little bit more sinister. Well, in this part of Sibson there's some quite pleasant large detached houses, and as we make our way further through the village you can see a row of what must have been workers' houses built probably back in the 18th century. And as we turn this corner we can see a conflict between these old narrow roads and the modern machinery and transport. I've had to pull over onto the grass here to let that go by. And then as we take this corner we're out into the countryside, and that's the end of Sibson, and we're off to Ratcliffe Cooley. Lovely name that, isn't it? Off and away. That's it. Blue sky, look. And that's coming towards us. The rain's gone that way, so we can take this off. It ties around me in the middle, which is good. I'm keen about a cape. Keeps your legs dry too, and warm. Just a jacket's never any good. Then unfortunately I'm back on the main road and I will have to go along here for about a mile before I turn off towards Upton. But at least it's a good view for everybody. It's long and straight, look. I've got my high visibility orange jacket on, which is good, and as you can see, most cars are really happy to give me quite a wide berth. Anyway, I'm turning left here. And now spontaneity got the better of me, and as I turn left I know there is a farm track that cuts across, and I'm thinking, well, if it's dry I just might take it. So I did. Well, I'm going to call this little stretch the Upton Bypass. It's just a cart track, farmer's track, and it just goes from the road to the road. I've been down it before, but yeah, they're not particularly ready yet, but there are some blackberries here. I'm not going to do the whole blackberry thing all over again, but not bad. Oh, tastes very nice. All that along here. Here we are, I'm on the hill. Familiar ground at last. That was a good ride, I enjoyed that. And yeah, I didn't really expect to go along the Upton Bypass, that farm track. That was good fun. So, here's the next time, okay? You'll see me then. Bye bye.